Alright, welcome to another video. Today we're looking at Kapalabhati. It's a breathing exercise where we do controlled but strong and somewhat forceful exhalations. We'll also look at some other similar techniques. So this kind of exercise, it's really good for activating your body. It's great to do in the morning when you wake up or for the beginning of a yoga practice. It can also be as a lead into a meditative state. Many breathing exercises, once you get familiar with it, you can do a few rounds or a duration of that exercise and then just sit in the awareness of the feeling from that exercise and the breath in its natural flow. And this is a really easy way to get into a meditative kind of state. Kapalabhati is exhaling through the nose, and the exhale comes from a rapid contraction of our abdominal muscles. That means we need to start with a relaxed abdomen. It's also good because of how strong this action is or how dynamic it is to do this on an empty stomach or many hours after eating. It's also advised for most women during menstruation not to do it, and also during pregnancy not to do it. So that aside, best time again is morning before eating to activate our body and to get things flowing. The movement, really, you want to focus from the lower part of the abdomen, and it helps to start with a half inhale to relax first. I relax for a moment in my natural breath to begin. And basically, as soon as I make the pump of the exhale, I just release the abdominal wall again. Focus to the lower part, contract to make the exhale, release, and inhalation happens naturally by itself. It doesn't feel like you're trying to take a strong breath in. You just receive some inflow. Now, some people may have a hard time to learn this in the beginning because of their own normal pattern of breathing, and oftentimes the pattern will happen in the opposite, where they will breathe forcefully in and passively out, or the belly is moving the opposite on the breath, where they're breathing in and the belly is going in. Now, that could be another breathing exercise, but for most people initially, that would be triggering more of a stress kind of response in the body. And we can use many different ways of working with our body's nervous system and stress response to get to a positive outcome from practice. But this isn't recommended for people who are just starting on their practice. We want to be as relaxed as possible and tune in into something that feels balancing and healthy for us. This is a good place to start. So if you are teaching, or if you're finding your own self that the movement is the opposite or the feeling is stressful, just slow everything down a lot, and it'll be a different technique, different name, different style, but it helps to figure this out. So you do intended mindful inhale and then forceful exhale, and just slow everything down. This is called Bhastrika basically, but we'll be doing gentle kind of Bhastrika or bellows breath. And that would be like this. Oftentimes I will have a student place a hand over their belly as well, or maybe laying down, place something onto the belly that they can feel. It's not too heavy and not too light. And then instructing them to breathe their belly into their hand. Inhale to move into that object or the hand, and exhale to bring the belly in. And then once this pattern is realized, then you can just have them move into the passive inhalation. Again, for beginners, you probably want to start this with a slower rhythm, and as long as it's controlled and relaxed, you can do as fast as is practical for you. Sometimes, if I'm not teaching, if I'm in my own practice, I could even be at a pace something like, and so on. Besides this, there is some other factors to consider when you're doing the Kapalabhati, and that is, if we're very blocked in our sinuses, this could be difficult to do. So if you are trying to do it and you feel all of the pressure of the air is kind of moving into the sinuses and building pressure behind, then this is not good and not what we want. So it would be better to either do the exercise breathing through the mouth. You can exhale through the mouth with the tongue. And we'll get the overall benefit through the core and through the circulation, all of the organs and so on for the body. Or you can try manipulating a little bit with your fingers as if you were doing alternate nostril breathing, and just ever so slightly pinch or partially close both sides through the nostrils. And this streamlining may help to direct the air a little bit more freely, a little bit more smoothly through the nose. If it still feels too blocked though, just go to the breathing through the mouth with the tongue exercise. And the benefits of this, it's more than just for the physicality. Like I mentioned, it could bring you into a meditative state if you use some few rounds of this exercise. Then you just sit in the mindfulness of your breathing afterwards. Also, the name hints towards something which is revealing the benefits on a more deeper level. And that is, meaning the name is a skull polishing. And that's a really literal kind of interpretation. What does skull polishing mean? It means that we're kind of stoking or increasing the energy, we're shining this area of our head. And that means we're kind of clearing space energetically for intuition or for sharpness of mind, for keenness of our intellect. And I think that's actually an easy result to feel from this. When you do a few rounds of it, one, while you're doing it, it's very clearing for your mind. You're just in the rhythm of your breath. And then afterwards, we feel very clean and very kind of stable with ourselves. So this is a Kapalabhati practice. In English, you may hear it called breath of fire, impulse breathing, or sometimes just, I say, pumping or exhalations. And there's similar exercises or movements that we can incorporate with this. And I'd like to demonstrate a few of those as well. So one of them is using our arms with the hands resting into the lap. And this technique will help to change a little bit how the air pressure in the lungs is working while we do the technique. Basically, when we exhale for the pump, we flick our elbows towards our abdomen. So this is a little bit more invigorating, a little bit more dynamic. Sometimes I will use this between sets of strength training exercises as also a way to quickly re-oxygenate the body. There is some Kundalini techniques where we pump our exhalation. We also do forceful inhale in some variations where we hold the arms up. And when we pump our breath out, we strongly pull down to the arms and make the fists. And a little bit more passively and slowly, we allow the arms to raise, reach out through our fingers, and imagine you're kind of collecting energy through the palms of the hands and then using that energy to cleanse and pump everything out through your systems. You can also use Kapalabhati in a variation of positions. How I'm sitting now in Virasana, this is a good position for people who are tight in their legs. You may also use a block. You can use Kapalabhati even in some of the more vigorous Hatha Yoga exercises, such as locust, cobra, and even standing poses like high lunge. So poses that are fairly stable, and this pump creates a kind of wave out through our muscular skeletal system, and that can help to reduce and ease on some of those tense or tight places, and it brings some more awareness as well. Think of like a wave or a vibration moving through your body from that pump of exhalation. Now, a lot of people want to know how many rounds or how many repetitions, how long should they do an exercise. My usual recommendation is once you have familiarity with it, just go by the feeling that it generates. Do a round, moderate round, then take a little breather, a few rounds of breath, do another round, maybe build it up a little bit, and just slowly build it up or increase it until you get to some significant effect, then sit and work with that effect. If you want more of a specific benchmark to go for, if you're a brand new beginner, you can do 30 pumps and then take 30 seconds rest, breathing naturally, deep, slow breaths. And I would do 3 rounds like that, 30 pumps and then 30 seconds slow, deep breathing. If you're getting familiar and your body is easy with this exercise, you can do much longer rounds, 40 to 60 pumps, or even beyond. Sometimes I'm doing 80, 100, 120 pumps, and then 3 deep breaths, and doing 3 to 5 rounds like that. You may also find sometimes in this exercise, at certain times you get a little bit of that kind of stitch, some people call it, or cramp in the stomach muscles. This is normal from time to time. You can just take it easy, breathe slow and deep, or try to reduce the intensity of the exercise, and it usually fade or go away after a little while. Some people may also notice other little catching places in their body, especially on the middle spine. And that may be about the posture in which you're sitting to do the exercise. It is very important to make sure that our spine is in its natural curves or ideal curves, and that we're not hunched or slouched over. So if you do have tight hips, if you find that when you sit cross legs to do the exercise that your back is kind of rounding, this is going to reduce the benefit, and maybe you might notice something like that in the spine. If you are sitting with a really good posture and you still feel that, then just take it as a little indicator, or kind of like a secret finder about what's going on in your body. And then you can target some more of your exercises to work around that thing. I personally, for I can't remember how many years, was watching this kind of traveling little click that I could feel in my spine just from sitting still and breathing. And at first it started in the lumbar, and then it moved up to the thoracic, and then it moved up to the higher thoracic, and it's been gone for some years now like that. And I could just sit and take a certain deep breath or do a round of Kapalabhati and get that little kind of click there. Nothing painful, but interesting to reveal what's happening with the structure of our body through these exercises through Hatha Yoga. So that's part of what we're doing with the practice, is getting a clear understanding of our own body and energy, and then applying intellect to work with those things to improve the situation that we can be in a stable, balanced state of mind for our meditation practice or for our healthy lifestyle. So enjoy your practice. I hope you found this useful. Click like, subscribe, the bell, and all that. And I would love to see your comments in the comment section down below. And I look forward to continuing to share with you guys. Blessings. Okay, P.S. guys, forgot in the first part, one more great thing that you can add to make this practice more profound and beneficial on the deeper sense is, while you do it, focus towards this third eye point and notice the difference. Peace out. And if you want to follow me in a practice of Kapalabhati a few rounds, then click into the video, which is going to come up somewhere around here, as I'm still learning on this YouTube stuff and how and where things are going to be